Well, this is something that I've been dwelling on for a little while. I'm going to leave UKIP, and I'm going to explain my reasons for doing so, but I think before I go into that, I should go into the reasons as to why I actually joined UKIP in the first place. You know, a good long while ago when my YouTube was kicking off and the free speech movement was starting to gain a lot of traction and a lot of people were joining the cause to try and get free speech secured in the UK, I did play with the idea of possibly getting into politics. Because, I mean, I didn't want to just be the guy that was, the armchair activist. I didn't want to just sort of sit at home making YouTube videos, preaching the free speech gospel in the hope that someone else out there would actually put the work in and get it done. I didn't want to be that type of guy, so I thought I need to actually get in and try and do the work myself. And we reviewed a lot of the parties to see which ones had free speech policies, and it turned out that none of them did. There aren't any parties in the UK that actually gave a shit about freedom of speech apart from UKIP. So I thought about it for quite a while, but I didn't make the move to actually join UKIP, and that was until me and Sargon were doing an event in Scarborough, in the Scarborough Spa. It was a huge event, loads of tickets sold out. We had people flying in from all over the world to attend this event, and everything was going ahead absolutely fine. We did the usual of informing the owners of the venue, look, you're going to get people that are telling you that we are white nationalists and Nazis and all those other smears. It's not true. Just do the research yourself. You know, here's our content, here's our videos. You'll be able to see that that absolutely isn't the case. And they agreed. They looked at it and went, yeah, okay, then that's fine. We can see here that, you know, you're classical liberals and all that, you know, all that type of shit. They knew that we weren't Nazis or fascists. And then less than a week before the event was due to start, they canned the entire thing, didn't notify us, didn't notify the organiser, and instead they announced that we found out through Facebook. We found out through their Facebook, and it was only just because people actually showed us the status. They didn't contact us at all. And that upped me. That really, really pissed me off, and it was a group called Stand Up to Racism that did it. And the thing that was really, really annoying is we had people who, you know, because it was less than a week before the event, people's hotels and flights were now at the point of being non-refundable. And we even had people like flying over from like Canada and Israel and everything like that as well, and they arrived in Britain to find that the event that they had paid thousands to come and attend had been cancelled, and this random wokey group was calling them all Nazis and fascists. The Israelis were especially pissed off about that one. So that night, I got drunk and I just went, fuck it, fuck this. Fuck these people, fuck their authoritarianism, and fuck them trying to destroy freedom of speech. It's not enough for them to, you know, if you don't like the things that we're saying, and you don't like us hosting the event, then just don't go to the event. Just don't attend it. Just don't turn up. If it's not for you, it's not for you. But they need to go the extra mile of, just because they don't like what you're saying, even though they have absolutely no intention of consuming your content or going to the shows that you put out, even though that kind of makes it none of their business, that's not enough for them. They want to completely shut the shows down. I got fucked off with it, and that's when I just went, you know what would piss these people off so much? If we got the ball rolling to get people to join UKIP. Because I'll admit, at the start, I did it as a bit of a meme. I did it like, I'm going to piss these people off, but, you know, it was half a meme, half maybe I could actually get some traction in the free speech movement. You know, UKIP at the time were a party that had a little bit of clout. You know, they were a bit well known, you know, not the best reputation through lies and smears, just like myself. So I got it, you know, we were kind of like kindred spirits about that. You know, hey, I get lied about too. So we joined the party, the usual people screeched and went crazy and went off their fucking head, you know, Nazi, racist, fascist, bigot, you joined a fascist party. I mean, if I wanted to join a fascist party, I would have, you know, joined the BNP, not UKIP. But when we joined into the party, there was a bit of a mixed response. You know, there was some people who really were not happy with the fact that we were there, and there was some people who completely embraced it because they understood the power that comes, you know, with internet e-celebdom. And then going into the party, there was a lot of people who were absolutely on board with the free speech message, and more people were coming on board. They asked me if I wanted to go to the European Union to speak to them about Article 13, something that was extraordinarily important, and I was so happy to have the chance to do it. So I immediately agreed, hopped on the plane, went over there, and booty blasted all these MEPs that are voting in Chinese state censorship, because that's essentially what Article 13 was. It was a filter to control what content can and cannot be placed onto the internet. You know, it's just pretty much the same censorship system as is adopted in China. Then they asked me if I would speak at their conference in Birmingham, and I agreed to do it. I heard it was going to be televised, and I thought to myself, holy shit, this is an opportunity to get the free speech message right out there in front of the masses. Everyone can see the free speech message. I went on stage and I didn't even make jokes. I was like, I am going to take this 100% seriously. I want to get absolutely everyone on board with wanting freedom of speech. And then the TV crews, as soon as I walked on stage, they just went, oh, this guy, cut the feed. I was so pissed off. That was my biggest chance to get the free speech message out to as many people as I possibly could have. And the TV channels fucking screwed me over. And everything was well and good. You know, there was a lot of people that were in UKIP that were completely on board with the freedom of speech message. They were very happy with it. They wanted to... when I told them about my idea of a codified British constitution by the people, for the people, to protect us from any authoritarian or fascist rules coming from the government, they were all completely on board with that. And they were very happy with that. There were people, obviously, that were not happy at all that I was in the party. Oh, these fucking YouTube shit posters are causing so much damage to the party. Who is this Count Dankula fellow anyway? He's not a real count. He's not an aristocrat. Why is he called Count Dankula? Right? Why does he have a beard? Why does he have tattoos? Why does he smell like cannabis? So there was a lot of boomerisms in the party. People that, you know, they were boomers. They didn't understand it. They didn't get it. Now, you know, I'll admit, you know, being a kempt person that doesn't look like they sleep under a bridge, it might help people understand and agree with your points, but personally I don't feel it's really necessary. I like to rely mostly on my arguments, not the fact that I look like a stoner skateboarder. So you had those people, and you know, that was fine. You get that, you know, like in any political party, you know, everyone doesn't like everyone, right? You know, there is a lot of bitchy high school level politics that goes on, and I've heard it across all political parties, so all of that stuff was nothing new. But despite that, we persevered and we went ahead, and the reason I wanted to go ahead was because there was a lot of good people in UKIP that truly did care about the freedom of speech cause. And this is one thing I want to make clear. Like, I will admit, you know, the media line's a powerful thing. I was wondering, going, Jesus, what am I in for? What am I in for if I go in here? What if I'm sitting here going like, oh, UKIP's a racist party, UKIP's a fascist party, and all that type of shit. And I'm like, no, it's not. And then I go in and I actually experience and see that shit. And I can absolutely confirm in the entire time that I was in UKIP, you know, attending the conferences, meeting all the big people, I seen, witnessed, and heard none of that. Absolutely none of that. There was no racism, no fascism, no even preach for any authoritarian rules. There was none of that crap. Right? I didn't experience, see, or witness any single piece of racism or anything like that while I was in UKIP. Right? I seen none of it at all. So that's, you know, another thing that the press have mostly lied to you about. And then everything was going fine and everything was going well, and then Farage decided to jump ship and basically create another single issue party. And I'm not downplaying Brexit at all. Brexit is extremely important. It's probably going to be the biggest democratic thing that has ever happened in any of our lives in the UK. So I completely understand why people want to go ahead and get Brexit done. And the majority of people in UKIP, you know, the good ones, their first and foremost priority is Brexit. And I completely get that. I completely understand that, because it is literally the purpose of UKIP. Like, that was the UK Independence Party. It literally is their purpose. So I completely understand why a lot of them were focused on Brexit. But as of late, that has not been what the party has been all about. The good people are still there, even though a lot of them have left, because they care about Brexit, they care about freedom of speech, and they just want to get stuff done. They just want to go ahead and get stuff done. But far too many bad elements of the party are far too busy playing Game of Thrones. Basically, we had Gerard Batten as leader. Gerard Batten has my absolute support. Love Gerard Batten. I think he's a great guy. And then he stepped down as a leader, and then there was a leadership election, and Richard Brain was voted in. It was a democratic vote for a leadership in UKIP. Richard Brain won. Richard Brain was the leader. And then you had all of the bad elements of the party stomping the ground and kicking their feet and throwing their toys out the pram because the vote didn't go the way that they wanted. And they didn't like the decisions that Brain was making, and they didn't like, oh, Batten did this, Brain did this, blah, blah, blah. It's okay then. Well, it was the outcome of a democratic vote. A democratic vote happened and it didn't go the way that you wanted. You sound like fucking Remainers. You sound like Remainers. Where a democratic vote didn't go the way that you wanted, so you're going to do everything in your power to subvert and fuck things up just because you didn't get what you wanted, right? You're just like Remainers. That's what you've become, right? And it's a bit of a fucking embarrassment. You still have the good people in the party, like Gerard Batten and Richard Brain, have my absolute support. They have my absolute support. I want them to be in charge of the party, because when they're in charge, shit gets done. But every time any of them try to do anything, you've got the bad elements of the party tripping them up and fucking things up for them, right? You've got people that are trying to purge people, get this guy kicked out, you know, or this person could possibly be a political opponent of mine. You're all in the same party. You're all in the same party and you all want the exact same thing. So see, instead of playing this fucking Game of Thrones fucking bullshit to fight over the great Iron Throne, right? Instead of doing all of that shit, how about focusing on Brexit? How about focusing on free speech? How about focusing on the things that the party is supposed to be about? Because Gerard Batten, Richard Brain, and all of the other good people in the party are trying to get shit done. They are trying to get shit done, but they can't fucking do anything because you're all busy being salty little bitches. Right? That's me putting it as bluntly as I can. You're all in the same party. You all want the same thing. If you would just fucking work together and focus on getting Brexit done and getting all the other shit sorted, you would be absolutely fine. But you're far too busy pointing fingers going, he's to blame for this and he's to blame for that and he shouldn't have done this with Tommy and he shouldn't have brought Count Dankula and Sargon and I wouldn't even rape you and all that type of stuff. Okay then, whatever, fine. Bitch about it, but don't bitch about it to such an extent that it completely undermines and is hindering you achieving what the party is supposed to be doing. Okay, the party's supposed to be achieving Brexit. Right? You want to have a whinge and a greet? You go ahead and you have a whinge and a greet. The party is supposed to be achieving Brexit. Right? And it can't fucking do that and it can't focus on that because you're ousting leaders and kicking people out and complaining about him and complaining about her. He should be out the party. He should be out the party until who's going to be left? Who's going to be left? Because the people that you're all actively trying to kick out and fuck around with are the people that are trying to get shit done. That are trying to bring UKIP back to the way it was before. Right? You dickheads, right, which are playing this little Game of Thrones shit, are fucking everything up, right? And everyone's sitting there going like, oh, Count Dankula on the day that he got his MEP candidacy announced, he posted his fucking balls on Twitter. Yeah, okay, I did a fucking funny meme. I didn't oust a democratically elected leader, and I've not been using bureaucracy to completely fuck up everything that the people in the party that actually care about the party and care about its purpose are trying to do, right? I'm not here to play fucking high school politics, right? That's not what I'm here for. That's not why I joined, right? See, if you just let Gerard Batten and Richard Brain do what they were trying to do, I would still be here. I understand that the focus of the party is Brexit right now. We're really approaching crunch time. This is probably just going to keep getting delayed until 2500 when we've all got fucking hover cars and shit. The reason I joined the party is I thought it would be an excellent vehicle to push the free speech message, because it was the only party that cared. It was the only party that actually gave a shit about the free speech message. That is why I joined. I wanted to use the party as a vehicle to carry the free speech message as far as it possibly could go, and then into Parliament, and then we can start pulling some strings to get a codified British Constitution to prevent us from being fucked with by the government and things that are none of the government's business. That's what I wanted. I wanted freedom of speech, freedom of association, freedom of expression, all of these wonderful, absolutely amazing things. And all of that could have been achieved if it wasn't for people acting like fucking babies. I am not besmirching the whole party, okay? There are good people in UKIP. There are good people who genuinely do care, do want Brexit, do want freedom of speech, and do want to deliver a better life for the people of Britain. There are people in the party that absolutely do care and do want to achieve those things, right? And I've spoken to a lot of them, and a lot of them are just so upset that they can't do any of these things because the bad elements of the party are fucking everything up for them and stopping them wherever they can, because they're far too busy playing Game of Thrones. Gerard Batten and Richard Brain have my absolute support. They have my absolute support. They are pro-freedom of speech. They want to get Brexit done. I am more than happy to throw my support behind them. But they're not able to get anything done because other people in the party who don't like them are fucking things up for them. And the problem with that is, UKIP's primary function is delivering Brexit, and they can't even get that done because of the people screwing with things. Which means that the free speech movement is not going to make any headway currently within UKIP with these people screwing everything up. Okay, we've got to deliver the message to the people about freedom of speech, we've got to give talks, we've got to do all of these things to bring a lot of people on board, and all of that's just stopped. It's just ground to a halt. Which means that if I want to be able to press on and continue with the free speech movement, I'm not going to be able to do it while in UKIP. Because if UKIP can't even focus on its primary function, which is delivering Brexit, then it's definitely not going to be able to focus on making the free speech movement move forward. And so because of that, I've decided to leave the party, and I'm going to look at alternative methods of being able to push the free speech message and get a codified British constitution into Parliament to protect us from authoritarian governments. But the problem is, as far as the free speech movement goes, when it comes to what parties are actually fighting for freedom of speech, there are none apart from UKIP. UKIP's the only one that actually even has free speech mentioned in its manifesto. I mean, look at some of the other parties. Like, for example, the SNP don't care about freedom of speech. They don't care. They don't mention it. They don't talk about it. Right? I mean, it's a case of, I understand that some parties have their big main goals that they look for, but then you get all the, the little secondary, tertiary, and so on things. Like, the SNP's main goal is to achieve an independent Scotland and then put that independent Scotland back into the EU, therefore not making it an independent Scotland. So the SNP are absolutely, they're absolutely fine with wearing the collar. They just want to change who's holding the leash. They're not a nationalist party in any aspect, and they don't give a shit about freedom of speech, so I'm not bothered with the SNP. Tories also don't care about freedom of speech. They don't care. They don't talk about it, they don't mention it. There are some within the party who come forward and say something, we should be able to talk about this, we should be able to talk about that. There are some, it's not as dedicated as I would like it to be, but then again, it's not up to me what you care about, but I would like it to be a bit more coming from Tories, but overall, with their overall message, manifesto, and what they're trying to achieve right now, nothing in regards to freedom of speech. So the Tories are not an option, and also, if I joined the Tories, I would literally be a fucking race traitor. Like, the UKIP thing was hard enough, right? Right. I've literally no reason whatsoever to join the Tories because they don't fucking give a shit about freedom of speech. They don't even talk about it apart from a few fringe people in the party, and I just can't bring myself to do it. I don't really have it in me to skip down the street wearing a monocle and urinating on the homeless. I just don't have that in me. So Tories might not be the best choice. Lib Dems, literally who? They don't give a shit about freedom of speech either. They don't care. They don't talk about it. The Liberal Democrats, the ones that are trying to overturn the democratic vote right now. Labour are the biggest threat to freedom of speech. Like, they've got so many authoritarians in their party that unironically call each other comrade. Right? They are my biggest worry when it comes to freedom of speech. I think if freedom of speech was going to be absolutely obliterated in the UK, it'll be Labour that does it. It'll be Labour that does it. So basically, I want to make sure that Labour do not get into power because they've got far too many authoritarians in the party. I mean, they unironically call each other comrade. Right? They unironically call each other comrade. Right? Maybe if it was like old school Labour. Not Blairite. Not Blairite Labour. It'd be a bit hard to be happy and support a party that is standing on a mountain made out of the corpses of dead Iraqi children. So not Blairite Labour, but the old school Labour, the one that cared about the workers, cared about people not being exploited, the ones that didn't have this whole woke social justice fucking bullshit message, but the old school Labour, the 8 hours work, 8 hours play, 8 hours rest, Labour. The old school guys. I can get along with that stuff. I can enjoy that stuff. A lot of that stuff I do agree with. These new guys are communists, right? Well, I want absolutely no part in that. Even though I used to be a Labour man. But I want no part of that now. Right, they have shifted so fucking far to the left that I want nothing to do with it. There's authoritarians in the party that have advocated for controlling the internet, controlling speech, arguing so hard in favour of hate speech laws, especially Diane Abbott as well, who is a huge proponent of people being arrested for causing offence. So I want nothing to do with Labour, and I feel that out of all the parties present in Britain right now, apart for the BNP, but you know, they're done. Like, out of all the parties present in Britain right now, the biggest risk to freedom of speech is Labour. Right? They're the biggest risk, so I don't want them in power at all, and I want nothing to do with that party. So, where can a free speech advocate go if he wants to try and get a codified British constitution passed in Westminster? Fucking nowhere. Fucking nowhere. The only choice, the only option was UKIP. And even though there are so many good people in UKIP that are still trying to get that message through there, the bad elements of the party are fucking it up for everybody else. You know, the people that are playing Game of Thrones and undermining people and getting people purged and getting people kicked out, you know, but you all had a problem with me saying that we should make weed legal, you know? It was me at meetings saying, oh, we should legalise weed. Yeah, I bang traps. And all that, you know, I was the problem. I was the problem. And especially Sargon with his wee cheeky jokes and memes and all that type of shit. No, we were the problem. We were the problem. It's nothing to do with the fact that you're all holding knives to each other's throats and trying to purge everyone from the party, when the good people are just trying to fucking get shit done and actually do what the party was created to do, right? Like, stop. I just want to stop. Stop trying to fuck each other over and do what you're fucking supposed to do. The reason you joined the party, fulfill the party's purpose, right? You're not going to be able to fucking do that if you're just at each other's throats constantly, right? So that's why I've decided to leave. That's why I'm not doing it anymore, because the free speech advocacy just came to a halt. It came to a halt, and it doesn't have any further future in UKIP unless they purged all the bad elements, which they're not going to do because they're all fucking fighting with each other right now, and it's just nothing's getting done. I just don't have the time to wait for this to resolve itself. The longer and longer we wait and fighting for freedom of speech, more people are getting arrested, more people are getting criminal records, you know, more people are going to get fucking fired from their jobs and kicked out of their bank or kicked out of their rented homes and all that shit because of an edgy tweet that they said. They're going to get police knocking on their door saying, why did you like a funny poem about trans people, you fucking bigot, get in the van, right? You know, we've no time to wait for this shit. Right, there's something else that needs to be done, and I'm going to be completely fucking honest with you. I don't know what that is. I don't know. There are no parties right now that care about it. There are groups that care about censorship and freedom of speech. Index on Censorship. Index on Censorship is a fucking great group. They primarily focus on journalists around the world that have been arrested for freedom of speech, for basically, you know, talking about things that the government didn't want them to talk about. Index on Censorship. Find them on Twitter, find their website, give them all your support. They're a fucking excellent group. They're a great group. The problem is, we need something with more clout, right? I'm not going to start a political party. I do not have the know-how. I do not have the knowledge. I do not have the money, right? I don't have it in me to start a political party. But in the same breath, I just don't want to be this armchair activist that's sitting at home going, we should have free speech, and then hope that someone else goes out and like does it on my behalf. I want my boots on the ground. I want to get my hands dirty. I want to try and achieve this. But at the point I'm at right now, I fucking don't know how. I don't know how I'm going to do it. The only choice would be through a political party, but right now, none of them fucking care. UKIP does. The good part of UKIP does. But the bad part of UKIP is preventing it from happening. I think the best thing we can do is just keep spreading the word, you know? Just keep telling people how beautiful, wonderful and magical freedom is, and bring as many people as we can on board. Because, you know, eventually all the boomers in Parliament are going to die. You know, eventually they're not going to be there forever. We just need to create a generation of people that just love freedom as much as us, so that when the young inherit the earth will be a free one. I mean, when I first joined, it was, you know, half a meme, half serious. But when they gave me the opportunity to speak at their conference and appear on TV and go to the European Union and speak truth to authoritarians that are trying to take away our freedoms, I am all up for doing that. I could do that for fucking days. Right, I'm all up for doing that. I'm more than happy to do that. But just with all the fuckery that's happening, all of that stuff is stopped. It's just completely stopped. And we don't have time to wait. So that's why I've decided to leave UKIP. But I don't do it begrudgingly. Right, there are good people in the party that want to deliver Brexit and want to deliver freedom of speech. There are good people. UKIP, the party on its own, is a good thing. It is a good party. Right, I liked it. I liked being in it. I enjoyed the people that I met. And I really, really do wish them the best of luck in the future. It's just, you know, I support Gerald. I support Richard. But it's just these other people in the party are just preventing anyone from getting anything done. Right, and we don't have time to wait. We don't have time to wait in this shit. Right, you know. Just fucking grow up, man. Grow up, you know. That's fucking rich coming for me, yeah. Just going to slap out this stuff at the end. I'm sorry for the lack of videos recently. I don't know if you can kind of hear it in my voice, but I've got a pretty severe chest infection, which actually landed me in the hospital. I'm fine. It was just pretty fucking bad, and something to do with my blood wasn't getting enough oxygen or something like that. So I'm fine. I'm out. I'm getting better now. I'm on the mend, and I do have a Mad Lad written and waiting to go. Right. I'm just gonna do it when when I don't feel like I'm at death's door. So what does the future hold? Well, still going to continue on YouTube for as long as they'll allow me to be here. I'm still going to make Mad Lads. I'm going to do this for as long as I possibly can because I fucking love doing it. I love hearing your feedback. I love how much all of you enjoy the Mad Lads. I love how much all of you are really getting on board with freedom of speech and how educated everyone is getting and defending it, and why it's extremely crucial that it's something that we must have in order for us to be considered a free society. I really enjoy what I do. I really love what I do. It's so much fun. It's the greatest job that I have ever fucking had. It is the greatest job that I've ever had, and I want to make sure that I can do this for as long as possible, because not only am I having a lot of fun, I am also getting more and more people on board with the freedom of speech movement. Like, it's a complete win of a situation, right? I'm damn fucking lucky. So the Mad Lads, the comedy skits, maybe the odd social commentary video on the occasional bit of YouTube drama, because I know a lot of you have been telling me that you missed that. I mean, the world's my fucking oyster. Like, you know, I'm not pigeonholed into what content I can do in my channel. I can do whatever I want. It's primarily comedy. I just want to make it as funny as I can. But again, as far as the free speech movement goes, the only thing that I feel that we can do now is just keep spreading awareness as much as we can until, you know, we get a party that actually can achieve what we want it to achieve. Freedom. You know, hopefully one day it does happen. Because I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep trying to achieve a codified constitution in Britain. One that protects us from the government. That's what I want. You know, that whole by the people, for the people. The government can't do a fucking thing about it unless we vote on it. That's what I want. That's what I want. But to everyone that's like followed me ever since all the Nazi pug shit started, like, you're absolute fucking bros. You are. People that subscribe to my Patreon and my Subscribestar and buy my merchandise and send me money on PayPal and stuff like that and allowing me to keep doing what I'm doing, you're absolute fucking bros. You're total fucking bros. Because it's the thing is, you don't even need to do that, but you do it anyway, right? And I'm greatly thankful and I greatly appreciate it. And I know it's because a lot of you, you know, you like what I do, but most importantly, you know, above me, what's most important is the free speech message. That's what comes first and foremost, you know, for me. I just want to make sure that nobody else in Britain has to go through what I went through, right? Because I'll admit I had as much fun with it as I could, and I made a lot of jokes and everything, and I laughed at the situation, but it was still a bit shit, right? It was still crap. Spending 2 years thinking, oh fuck, I'm going to jail. I'm going to jail for a fucking meme. And I don't want that to happen to anybody else, right? I also kind of want to make sure that communists and fascists don't get any power. And even if they do get any power, we'll at least have, the Constitution as a little bit of a defence against them, right? Ideally, that would be great. Nobody wants to be ruled over by communists or fascists. So if we could all work together to make sure that doesn't happen, that'd be fucking super. But anyway, I think judging by the way that my throat and voice feels, I think I've used up my daily allocation of words for the day. So I'm going to go and play some Death Stranding and take my antibiotics because I feel and look like shit. It's also why I haven't cut my beard and I look like a wild man. But again, thank you very much for everyone that's been here from the beginning. And I know that there was a lot of people that really did not approve of me joining UKIP, but you stuck by me anyway because you respected and understood my reasons for doing it, and I want to thank you very much for that. But anyway, I'm gonna go try and not die, so that I can continue the free speech message. Remember, freedom isn't free. It costs £800.
It's Count Dankula on YouTube. Everybody should subscribe. Yeah.